All right, so let's take a look at how to factor a polynomial. And this will be a multi-termed polynomial that we're going to be taking a look at. But when dealing with polynomials, it is often easier to use them when they are simplified, or at least partially simplified. And so what we're going to do is to factor a polynomial, a greatest common factor is pulled, we'll call it pulled or divided out of each term. And we're going to do that as follows here. So here's our polynomial we're going to look at. It's 46x plus 32x squared plus 16x cubed. And so what we want to do is we have three terms, okay, that you'll notice right here. This is a trinomial, and we want to try to simplify it, and we want to try to pull out a greatest common factor if we can. So we're going to divide each term by a greatest common factor. Now, the first thing, so we simplify by adding all like terms together if there are any like terms. Here there's not. They're all exactly the same. And then we determine the greatest common factor of each of the terms. Well, we did that up ahead, or up above, and we found that our greatest common factor was 2x. Okay, so it's 2x. Now, we want to factor that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide each term by the greatest common factor. So we're going to do 46x divided by 2x. We're going to do 32x squared divided by 2x. And we're going to do 16x cubed divided by 2x. Okay, so what we're doing is we're factoring it out. We're taking it out of our polynomial. Now, we're not actually changing the polynomial, but we're just trying to separate them. Okay, just like we would factor out two numbers from, let's say we used 36 earlier, we could say it's 3 times 12. Okay, what we're doing is we know it's 2x is one of our values, and the other value is going to be the remainder of this here. So when we divide, what we do is we take the number and divide by the number. So 46 divided by 2, and that'll be 23. And then we do the letter divided by the letter. Now, we have 1x divided by 1x, and when we do that, we're going to be left with just 1. Nothing. So nothing. No x's. It's just 23 times 1, which is just 23. In the second one, it's a little bit different here. 32 divided by 2 is 16. And when we do x squared divided by x, okay, what that means is, I'm just going to put this on the side here, it's x times x over x. Okay, that's what it looks like. That's what we're doing, x times x divided by x. Now, when we have something like this, this cancels out. So we have 1x on top and the 1x on the bottom cancel out. So that means x squared divided by x is just 1x. Okay, we're subtracting exponents. Now, you may remember that a little bit from last year. You might have touched on it just a hair. But just to kind of go over it a little bit again as a refresher. The last one here is 16 divided by 2, which is 8. And then we have x cubed, which is 3x's divided by 1x. Now, again, we subtract, right? So 3 minus 1 is just 2, so it's x squared. So now we're going to take these three terms, we're going to put them back together. And this is 23 plus 16x plus 8x squared. But now what we need to do is, this is one of our values, that's one of our factors, and the other factor we're going to put in the front, and that's 2x. Okay, so these are our two factors. If we multiply these two back together, we're going to come up with our original polynomial, which is right here. Okay, we're not going to worry about our multiplying right now. We're going to take a look at that in our next lesson. But for today, we want to just factor it out. Can we take out a greatest common factor out of a polynomial as such? Okay, again, we haven't changed it because this is just these two things multiplied together would give us the original back. Okay, but sometimes when we do this, it's going to be easier to use this for whatever reason, or it's going to be easier to use this piece for whatever reason. And we're going to take a look at how that factoring works out, and then it's going to come up even more next year when we take a look at quadratics and how we can factor those to find what do they look like and what properties do they have.